Hello and welcome to For Love or Money. Tonight we ask, what is going on behind these closed doors at London's most beautiful 17th century house? It's been closed to the public for 2 years, but For Love or Money has an exclusive invitation inside. Also in tonight's programme, we find out why you need a second mortgage these days just to buy a comic. Michael Gambon takes us through the intricate world of antique dueling pistols, and we look at the Oriental rugs, which aren't exactly Oriental. As you can see, Ham House is completely under wraps. The National Trust is spending £2.5 million on its work. And the irony is that if they're successful, most of us won't even notice the difference. We'll be finding out exactly what they're up to later in the programme. But first, when is a Persian carpet not a Persian carpet? There's an awful lot of Oriental mystery surrounding the carpet trade, and with good reason. Things are never quite what they seem. Mayfair, where there are more Rolls-Royces to the square metre than anywhere else in Europe. But explore behind the glamour, and it's just another Casbah. I've been pacing up and down this street all morning, trying to pick up enough courage to ask the price of this superb Persian carpet. I don't know much about carpets, and like all of us, I've heard some pretty dicey stories about carpet dealers. But see John come very highly recommended, so I'm about to take the plunge. There are dozens of types of Persian carpets. Esfahan, Afshar, Shiraz, you can savour their names like exotic sweetmeats. And an encounter with a carpet dealer has the same mystique whether you're in Mayfair or Meshed. Sorry to trouble you, I've taken rather a fancy to that Persian carpet in your front window.
Oh, you mean the Ziegler carpet?
No, the Persian carpet.
Ah, well, it is a Persian carpet. It's called a Ziegler carpet because it was made by a gentleman who was of Swiss-German origin. He had an English company, and they went out to Persia, to the town of Sultanabad, and they made carpets especially for English houses and for European taste by enlarging the designs of a typical Persian carpet and changing the colours, and produced what you see in the window, which is a beautiful decorative carpet, which is also practical and very fashionable at the moment. Interior designers like them very much because they work so well with modern furnishing fabrics, and they produce a very livable and delightful room.
But it's not so easy to live with the prices. Today's Ziegler boom dates from 1984, when Christie's sold 16 of them from Elvedon Hall in Norfolk for over £300,000, when their combined estimate was less than £20,000. And in this market, prices have held up. How much would you be asking for that carpet in the window?
It's £50,000.
£50,000?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
That's a bit out of my price range. Have you got anything a bit cheaper? Goodness me, that is a corker.
Yes, that's a beautiful carpet, and it's a typical Ziegler carpet. This one is made quite finely. You can always tell that by just turning the corner and looking at the back, and there you see the finesse of the design. You can see that the colouring is quite different to the carpet underneath it, which is what you would immediately think of when you think of a Persian carpet.
What is that carpet?
That is a Keshan carpet. That is a classical carpet with a very fine weave and very small patterns. And this is the classic Ziegler, which is, as you can see, completely different in colouring.
What's that, a lotus or something?
Well, that we call a palmette, and you'll find it in this carpet here. But of course, it's a tiny design, just there.
How much are you asking for it?
It's £25,000.
25,000? There's
Yes.
£50,000 for the carpet in the window, £25,000 on the floor.
Well,
who's buying these?
Well, as I said to you, they are fashionable.
Well, Leon, I must be absolutely honest with you. I hope I haven't wasted your time, but £50,000, £25,000, this is way out of my league.
Well, you certainly haven't wasted my time. Do have a look around, but I'm sure you'll be back.
That's what you think, sunshine. I'm putting temptation behind me, and I'm off down the high street to the winter's sales. If anybody thinks that I'm going to pay 50,000 quid for a Ziegler, they've got another think coming. I've got a hot tip that this is a place for a bargain. Another Aladdin's cave for the lover of fine Persian carpets, and this one promising its jewels at a fraction of the price of C. John's. I put my newly acquired skills to the test. Somehow they just didn't seem to compare to the ones I'd been shown in Mayfair. Had they been anywhere near Persia, the proprietor was keen to explain. So these are fresh off the plane from Cairo?
Absolutely, just arrived.
Let's have a look. Well, that doesn't look very Persian to me.
That's right, that's a copy of William Morris.
Oh, William Morris, you're really knocking them off. What else are you doing?
English ex-minister, Savon, any decorative carpet that we think that it's rare.
Do you think that a modern reproduction Ziegler of the sort you're doing can possibly match the richness, the luxury, the opulence of an old carpet?
To be very frank with you, there are differences. I would never claim that I actually achieved 100% perfection. But here there is a money and the price of the carpet is involved. If you have 20,000 or whatever it costs for the original one, I would definitely suggest that you buy the original one because we can never get 100%.
You can order these handmade copies in the colours of your choice at £260 per metre, less than a fifth of the price of an antique Ziegler. You could do an average room for under £3,000, but don't expect the opulent colours and textures of an original. Hardly surprising given their synthetic dyes and mixture of Egyptian and New Zealand wools. After all that, I'm beginning to see the point of buying an original antique Ziegler. But there must be a way of doing it without having to sell the shirt off my back. Hello there.
You may have come to the right place. 30,000 to you.
Look, this has got to stop.
To you? Half price, maybe?
So this is your special bargain basement offer, is it? What's so special about it?
Well, this is what I would describe as a value-for-money carpet. It's something that you can see the kind of design and overall colour balance that you'll be seeking.
What is the price? You mentioned a special price on this.
Well,
what can you do me on this?
I can do this one for 10,000.
10,000?
£10,000 for
This is
you.
music to my ears. Well, what's the catch? Why is it so cheap?
Well, there isn't really a catch. It's got one or two problems, or I wouldn't actually describe them as real problems.
I'm sure you wouldn't. What sort of problems is it?
Well, let me show you. It has a certain amount of wear, which
Now, let me go.
one can only see when you're close down onto the pile.
I want to... Come on, let's
You
do
can
it.
feel the difference here where, you know, there isn't very much of the knot left.
There's nothing I can do about that, is there?
Well, it could be repiled in parts.
You
It's
can
not absolute-
repile that?
A good restorer will be able to make a fairly good camouflage job of that.
that's
a
pretty
little bit,
rapey
oh,
there.
that's a bit flat there, and
I
you
can
know,
quite
odd
see...
spots.
Well,
here.
come on, look, this is as
Well.
bald as Yul Brynner here. It's quite
Well.
ridiculous.
Yeah, but unfortunately he's gone. The carpet's still here. But
Well, it's only just still here. It's a sort of slight breath.
well, take it easy. You're not going to get the price down any further.
Can I do something? Do you think you could lend me this carpet for 24 hours and let me ask a friendly restorer what he thought about it and get a quote?
Absolutely.
Harut Barin is a top-class carpet restorer. He's an Armenian from Istanbul, so if anyone can let me in on the secrets of the carpet trade and give me the lowdown on this Ziegler, it's Harut. After all, he's been at the sharp end of the business most of his life.
I started when I was 10 years old.
10 years old?
From my family. We've always been carpet makers and repairers.
They taught you everything you know?
Yes, well, still you learn, never ending. You have to feel the carpet, you have to match the colors, you have to like the job you're doing. Then it's time consuming.
How do you feel a carpet? What does that mean?
Each carpet tells me everything, different stories, and I love rugs. I love carpets.
What sort of stories do they tell you?
This is 100 years old, and when you repair it, you go backwards 100 years.
And this is no romantic speculation. Harut uses the same techniques to restore carpets that the weavers of Sultanabad did to make them originally. In order to bring this Ziegler back to life, he needs to repile areas of it, always paying particular attention to the colour match of the wool. Harut gets right up close to the carpets he repairs and can tell exactly what cosmetic techniques may have been employed in the carpet's long history. He mentions some pretty peculiar practices that I'd never heard of.
Painting, sometimes they do paint it and tint it, but it's not a very good idea. It's painted carpet, will be painted carpet. There won't be any value on it. It will be very difficult if it comes to resale it. It is difficult to trace it if the carpet is tinted, so you should always ask an expert opinion.
But this carpet hasn't been painted, has it?
No, it's very difficult to see.
Well, did you see any paint? Has it been painted at all, do you think?
No comment.
Isn't it amazing what you can miss even when you've inspected a carpet on your hands and knees? But I wouldn't let a lick of paint put me off a deal. Harut, how much are you going to sting me for restoring this carpet?
This will cost you around 3,000 to 4,000 to restore this carpet.
That's a bargain, it's a deal. Let me tell you something. I've been offered this carpet for £10,000. If you can bring it up to scratch for an extra 3 to 4, that's £14,000. And I think then, from the carpets I've seen, we're going to end up with a £25,000 to £30,000 carpet.
Wait a minute.
We'll go into business together.
No.
Come on, Harut.
Repair is a repair. There is no way you can get it 100% perfect. So after that, you're spending that sort of money, whole thing can be false economy.
So I can't make a fast buck out of this?
No, I very much doubt it. You should be buying for love, not for investment or money.
I'm afraid it was love at first sight. I simply couldn't resist buying the Ziegler that I originally saw for £50,000. So I put the house on the market, and I'm looking for a bed set. If I can't find one, I've ended up with the world's most expensive tent hanging. £50,000, or even a few hundred, is a lot of money to spend on a carpet. But even if yours isn't that expensive, how do you ensure that it won't need Harut's treatment in a few years' time? So here's the For Love or Money guide to carpet care. First, wear and tear. Look at the underside to check the quality of the weave. If there are more than 9 knots to the inch, you've got a good carpet. To protect it, always put something between the carpet and the legs of heavy furniture. Always put an underlay between the carpet and the floor. Hair felt or good quality rubber is best. Rotate it every year to keep the wear even, and don't walk on it in stiletto heels. Keep it clean. Carpets don't like heavy vacuum cleaners. Use a cylinder one at gentle suction if you must, but it's best to brush it gently with the pile. Use a natural, not a synthetic brush. To remove stains, use lukewarm water, ordinary carpet cleaner, and a horsehair brush, but add a couple of tablespoonfuls of white vinegar to preserve the colours. Storage. Always make sure it's clean, never wrap it in plastic, and never store in dark or damp places. Carpets need light and air.